Hi, I'm Cindy Bates, Vice President of Microsoft's U.S. Small and Mid-Sized Business Group. Welcome back for our final daily dose of inspiration during National Small Business Week. It's been an amazing week of content and conversation across a wide range of topics. To wrap up the week, we're going to discuss immigrant entrepreneurs. Their contribution is truly significant. Did you know that a recent study showed that more than half of startups worth over $1 billion were founded by immigrants? Collectively, these companies are worth $168 billion and employ over 33,000 people. We all benefit from the fresh perspective immigrant entrepreneurs bring and translate into new ideas for businesses. Let's tune in to the interviews from Melanie Gass to learn more.
I'm here with Dan Fleischman, and Dan, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you have an amazing story as an immigrant from Russia and now part of this amazing company. So can you share your story with the audience about how you made that transition from Russia over to the U.S.?
Sure. So I was born in 1981, and when I was a baby, we first moved to America. We couldn't speak English at all. And obviously I couldn't speak English when I was a baby. But as I grew up, my parents learned just from watching television, actually. And so I started working when I was 4 years old at the swap meet. My parents opened up their first Levi's jeans store, and they'd sell jeans at the swap meet, and I would sell baseball cards and help them sell jeans every weekend. That was where I first started getting my entrepreneurial spirit.
Now, that's fantastic. And so flash forward to this day and age, and now you are the youngest CEO of a publicly traded company. How did you make that transition from working at the swap meet and now having this major corporation that is publicly traded?
So over the next decade, even through high school, I was working multiple jobs and saving up money to help my mom. And then I trademarked the catchphrase, "Who's your daddy?" for over 300 products. And we got a $9.5 million licensing deal from Starter Apparel when we were 18 years old. And we got into thousands of retail stores in America, and I just didn't sleep. I just kept working and working and doing as much as I could to get as many sales as we could. And then we took it public on the stock market so we could launch the energy drink. And then over the next 2 years, we got that drink into 55,000 retail stores in America.
Wow. So what keeps you motivated every day to keep challenging yourself and keep going day in and day out?
My main motivation is that I want to save the world. And I just figure, to me, if I can grow enough of a network and enough funding around me, I can help fix the basics of food, water, and shelter that people really need. And my other motivation is my family and staff and friends. I've employed my mom for a decade. I've employed my brother and my friends. I'm able to make people's salaries to help their lives and their dreams come true.
Oh, such an amazing gift to be able to give back to people like that. And I know that you also mentor others. So do you have 3 tips and lessons that you give to everyone you could share with our audience today?
Sure. My number 1 is don't talk about it, be about it. What that means is we're in 2016. There's so many great resources with social media. Building a website is so cheap or free. Getting a corporation is very cheap. You can do everything for a few $100s nowadays. So if you have an idea, just get started now. And you don't have to quit your job. You don't have to go quit school. Just start on your idea from 9 p.m. to midnight each night. Work away on your idea 3 hours a day. Doesn't sound like a lot. It's 90 hours a month, 1,080 hours in a year. All of a sudden you put in 1,000 hours into your business idea just from setting aside a few hours a night to work on your dream. Second thing is make sure you get contracts for everything, even if they're just 1 or 2 pages. To set a clear-cut example of what you expect from anybody that you hire or partner with. A lot of times people get into partnerships with their friend, and their friend has to go off to college, or their friend has to get a job, and they think they're just 50-50, and you're really running the company for 8 months, and then realize maybe they should have had 10 or 20% because you're running everything. So even if it's a family member, a friend, a brother, it doesn't matter. Pick a simple 1 or 2 page agreement explaining what you guys are both going to do and why, and who's going to have what. That'll prevent the biggest problem is communication. That'll prevent that if you make it clear from the beginning. The third thing is fail fast. Go out there and try. 2016, like I said, you can start a company for lunch money now. You can get started, see if it works. If it converts, go fast, go hard. If it doesn't convert, you didn't lose much doing it nowadays. You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands. You don't have to raise millions of dollars like everybody says you do. Just start. Build a website, get a corporation, open a bank account, try to get some sales, get a little free marketing on social media, see if people care. If they care, keep going. If they don't, try something else.
With Shaheen Cohen, president of Ames 360. And Shaheen, I know you have an incredible story emigrating over from Iran and now owning a fashion software business that's so successful. Can you tell us about your journey from emigrating to Iran and flash forward now as a successful business owner?
So I grew up in Iran. I lived there until I finished 8th grade. For those of you who may know history of Iran, you know that after the revolution there was a war, and so when I was 12, the war was still going on, and my parents decided that it was time for me to leave. So since they were unable to leave at that time because of all the things that was going on, I basically left with a family member. And I left from Iran. I went to Turkey, and I was in Turkey for some time. I went from there to Switzerland and then to Austria, and I immigrated to the United States through a refugee program. Essentially, I got an asylum to the United States, and I became, a citizen of America 5 years later after I came here. And that's how I got to the United States. It took roughly about 2 years, actually, to come through that process. Once I was here, I started back at 8th grade, and I finished high school and got a degree in computer science. And, since, I didn't have a lot of money, I started working full-time while I was getting my degree in computer science. And I ended up where I am today.
I know that across the way you probably run into some challenges in developing and growing your business. Do you have one that you could share with us that might help others on their journey?
One of the things that I think transitioning from a sort of an entrepreneur company, which is what we started as, to a more organized with a lot more employees, was that for me personally was learning how to let go of just me doing all the work. And it's very hard for entrepreneurs because they are used to being the smartest people in the room. They're used to doing everything themselves. They're used to wearing every hat themselves. And so in order to make that transition, I had to learn, and I wish someone would give me this advice back then, to be able to hire the right people who were capable of doing each piece of the work that I was doing and be able to complete that without me having to be involved in it. And that freed me to be able to focus on other areas and building sales and things that were very important to the company. And I think that transition is very hard for entrepreneurs. That's why a lot of the small businesses tend to stay, 2 or 3 people, but because they really can't make that transition easily. I was fortunate enough to have people around me who helped me. I have a great team who helped me make that transition by working with me and teaching me that that's a better way of doing it than for me to do it all. And I think that's a huge thing that I think people can learn. I also think it's very important to be strong and not get scared easily when you're an entrepreneur, because you're a small business and there's a lot of big companies out there that may come in and try to take a piece of your business or try to take some of your business. And so I think it's very important to know that entrepreneurs have an advantage. They're able to make changes quicker than big corporations can. And so that ability to be able to make quick changes and being nimble is actually a competitive advantage that can be used. And we use that all the time against our bigger competitors, because they can't make the changes that we can make right away, because the decision-making process is not a corporation of 5,000, it's a corporation of 50 or 60. And so we can very easily turn our ship, 10 or 20 degrees, whereas for them to do 1 degree, it may take 1 or 2 years to accomplish something like that. So, so those are the two things that I would say.
Just to close out, do you have any words of wisdom that you could share for anyone that has come over from another country looking to get started in that American dream of owning their own small business?
That one of the things I realized when I immigrated to this country was that the opportunity here is just endless. The doors are open, people are open. I've never felt that anybody wasn't going to do business with me or didn't want to do business with me because I was a foreigner, and I found that a huge advantage to be able to start a business. Not to mention that there's so much resources out there for immigrants and people who have immigrated from other countries that can be used. I think that the most important thing for me was the fact that I felt that this was a country that was fair and that they treated me fairly, and so that to me was huge, because I lived in a country where I felt, and legitimately everybody even today does feel, that the game is rigged, that you either have to have it in order to make more, or you just stay where you are and just become sort of part of that system, but there's no upward movement ever. Whereas I think in America, it's so important to realize right away that upward movement is available, and there's so many organizations and so many places where you can go to get help and to get educated and get exposed to be able to start a business. For me, exposure was huge. I just exposed myself to everything. I went out and met people and talked to people and asked a lot of questions and tried to understand what people did and how they started businesses. And I joined everything about starting a business and owning your business and read every book out there. And I think that's really a good way of getting started.
Thanks, Melanie, and to all of you for watching. That's a wrap for National Small Business Week for this year. I hope you're all inspired by what we've shared this week and are thinking about ways to harness that inspiration in your entrepreneurial pursuits. To share a few closing thoughts, I believe entrepreneurship is a team sport, and I encourage each of you to seek out experts, peers, and mentors for support as you pursue your individual dreams. At Microsoft, we're here to offer the best technology solutions to help every business realize its full potential. Research shows, and I firmly believe, that small businesses that use modern technology grow faster and create more jobs than SMBs with low levels of technology adoption. The cloud has completely changed the way businesses start and grow, and it's more accessible than ever before. For the cost of a few cups of coffee a month, small businesses can implement enterprise-grade capabilities into their operations to better compete and succeed. Please explore the wealth of information for small businesses on our website at microsoft.com/business. And our network of Microsoft stores also offer programs designed to accelerate small businesses. They're a fantastic resource. I look forward to your feedback on this week's video series. Please reach out to me on Twitter at Cindy_Bates or via our SMB blog, also on our website, microsoft.com/business. Thank you, and keep dreaming big.